So we're going to start with the roller lengthways down your mat to do some chest opening and release of the shoulders and neck. That works for everyone. I've never had any complaints on that, I have to say. So we'll have a seat first with your tail at the front end of your roller. And then when you lay back, you want to be sure that the base of your skull is supported. Hopefully you're supported from your head all the way to your tailbone. And then when you go back, you'll have your feet about 4 to 5 inches apart and slightly in front of your knees. You want to feel that the roller supports you between your shoulder blades at your sacrum. Your feet are grounded. And to begin with, extend the arms out to the side in a T, so your arms are 90 degrees from the angle of your body, and the back of the hands rests on the ground. So you're looking up and maybe slightly forward so that the front of your neck is a little soft. And you should feel an arch under your neck, under your waistline, and of course under the arches of your feet. So we're just going to rock a little bit from side to side, thinking of your body like curved like a saddle here, to slide around the curve of the roller. So as you tip to your left, the right shoulder blade gets heavy. It gets a little push to the side for a stretch here in the muscles between the blades, the rhomboids and the traps. And you go from side to side. The hands might slide a little bit here. Notice you're getting a nice massage at the base of your skull, at your sacrum, and also between the blades. And there's a weight shift in your feet as you tip slightly to one side and slightly to the other. First, trying to stay on the roller and not fall off. So it's not far. If it happens, you'll be fine. So we're coming back to center. And then lift your hands just off the ground. Find your balance through the inner and outer edges of your feet. And we curve the arms up, a big hug above your chest wall, above the heart. Embrace the air above you, and then exhale, pull the arms out slowly and down to the ground. Use the full exhale. So we inhale for the arms to rise. Maybe a little space between the hands with the fingers aware of each other like they're magnets pulling towards each other, and then pull those magnets apart. As you bring the arms open and down, you'll feel the shoulder blades hug the roller a little more intensely. Right there. And then inhale, lift the arms down. And exhale and pull the arms slowly open. Use your full exhalation to lower the arms. So working against gravity a little bit there. And inhale again, slow motion up. Use the full inhalation. The ribs will expand, the belly will expand with that diaphragmatic breath. And then exhale. You stretch the space between your hands open and slowly descend the arms so the wrists rest on the floor. One more coming up. Gather the air in and breathe it in completely, deeply. And exhale, open your mouth, let the air flow out, and picture the navel sinking down, down, down towards your spine. Now we inhale, we're going to lift the arms, start with the curve, and then straighten the arms up to the ceiling. Arms are apart, the width of your shoulders, the width of your torso. And exhale, let the blades sink. Now we're going to stretch the arms up as high as they go. The blades move off of the roller, curving the upper back, and then exhale, pull the blades down to get a feeling of broadening and widening across your chest. So inhale, we lift the hands, the shoulders lift up, so the blades move sideways away from the roller, and then exhale, pull the collarbones wide as the shoulder blades sink, and hug the roller under your body. So we do this. This is called protraction when the hands go up, and it helps stretch the neck and the upper back, and retraction as the blades sink down, helping you narrow the back and open the chest. So again, inhale, the hands float up like they're being pulled up by helium balloons up into the ceiling and pass up into the sky, and then exhale, the air escapes and the blades sink down slowly. Let's lift again, shrug the shoulders up, see how high you can reach. So reach to the fingertips on the way down, so the blades pull down, but the arms are still reaching for the ceiling. Next, we'll turn the palms forward and exhale, lengthen the arms down at your side. So just feet wider makes it a little easier for you to balance. Feet narrower makes you work a little bit more core and challenges your balance. Now here with the arms down, you can also challenge your balance by just having your fingertips to the floor. If you want more support, the palms to the floor, or even the elbows and palms to the ground. So choose where you want to be. And we're going to inhale, lift both arms up to the sky, 90 degrees from the torso, and exhale, arms back towards your ears. Keeping the ribs grounded here, on the additional arch in the spine. We lift the arms up, push the air aside, and then cut through it as you bring the arms all the way down to your mat. The arms frame your body, they frame the roller. So we lift the arms in unison and parallel, and they remain in parallel like mirror images as the arms go back, and you'll feel that stretch, maybe in the back of the arms, probably in the armpit and the sides of your waist. Lift the arms forward again, heavy, heavy shoulders, then drop, and as you reach the arms forward, stretch your fingers to the end of your mat to feel the length in your neck increase. And we go up with the arms. Exhale, sigh the air out as the arms go back, flip them off the ground. And then reversing the direction, the arms rise, and then exhale, and they slowly descend. Soft landing at the end. Next, we'll leave the left hand here, take the right arm up and back. And then you feel a bit of a diagonal stretch across the torso, front and back. And then we switch the arms. One goes forward, one goes back. And they pass at mid-arc, right? So we lift again. It's an inhale for one set of movements and an exhale for the next. For some reason in Pilates, they call this windmill. Doesn't look like a windmill to me, but it's great exercise for the shoulders. You can feel you're getting, like, again, more massage in a different place along the blades, especially on the inside line. And it's very helpful for the neck to feel this stretch and for the rib cage to stay balanced here while you have different loads being placed on it with the position and weight of your arms. So we're going to finish with the left arm back and the right arm forward, and then bring both arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring both arms down long at your side. And now we'll take your right hand to your right shoulder, the left hand to the left shoulder, little circles with the elbows. So you pull the elbows in and then up, and then exhale, circle out wide, around and down. The circle as big as you can do it comfortably and keep the shoulders. Well, they actually are moving, but the rib cage and the upper back is quiet and calm. You definitely want to feel that your feet are grounded here and there's weight on the inside edges of your feet. To engage the inner thigh line all the way from the top of the thighs down to the big toe on each one. Complete the circle, we're reversing. So we go down with the elbows and then wide and back, lift them up and pull them in narrow along your sideline. Skimming the side of the ribs and then flowing them open, around and back. So we're choosing to move from the shoulder blades and not just from the humerus, the arm bone on the shoulder blade, in order to get more stretch into the back line of our bodies. Good. And we'll do one more breath. Short inhale, long exhale. And then the elbows narrow in, you'll extend the arms forward, palms to the floor, fingers reach the wall. Full arm circles, the arms lift up in unison and parallel and go back towards your earlobes. And exhale, circle wide like snow angels. Fingers reach out, stretch your palm, bring your hands parallel to the roller, and then turn the palms down. We do it again. Inhale all the way up and then back. Pause, exhale, and circle around. Use the full exhale to sweep the arms out. Show me your wingspan. And then turn the palms down. They're parallel to the floor. Again, arms lift in unison. And exhale, mirror image arms going out around to the side walls. And then finally down by your heels. Palms down. One more like this. Reach up and reach back. The blades slide towards your hips. Exhale and circle. Palms spread open with the fingers like starfish here. Palms down and then turn the palms up. We take the arms out to the side. As the arms go past the height of your shoulders, you lift them a little bit off the ground. Exhale, push the air down as you bring the arms forward and down, parallel to the roller, parallel to your torso. Palms up at the end, circle out and around and back. Big exhale. Push the air out of your lungs. Your arms acting like levers to push the air out. Palms up again, reach and stretch. And still hold the natural curves of your spine on top of the roller, the arms side forward. And we'll do one last one here. Hopefully everyone's feeling good with the stretch in the chest wall, in the arms, and the deep breathing you're doing to relax your nervous system. So now lift the arms up to the ceiling, bend the elbows sideways out to the side walls, and then match up your thumbs, your index fingers, and maybe your middle fingers. So we have created a diamond shape here above the body. We're gonna swing that shape back to frame your face like you're in a picture frame. And then you exhale to sweep the arms forward so the hands look just over the low belly, navel to pubic bone. And again, arms go back. The tip of the blade slides towards your waistline. The neck is still long. Exhale and lift it with control. So we try to take a little momentum out of the movement by moving slowly, using your full inhale to go back and resist gravity, go down at a steady pace, not accelerating. And then we do the same on the lift. You come to the top of the movement, you continue on the exhale all the way down. One more like this. Feeling how this really works the muscles in your chest, your pectoralis muscles, and in your back. And then we bring the arms forward and exhale, glide the arms down on your side. Great. So we're going to slide off the roller. If you have a ball between your thighs, take it out. And we'll slide off and come up to sitting. Take the roller across your mat. It's going to go right under the tip of the blades. So you can roll back gradually, lean into it. So sort of at the bra line. And then here, support your head with your hands. Feet are grounded, knees are up, legs are parallel. So at this position, you can pull the chest forward and down, look at your navel and pull the elbows down in as well. And then we'll bring the gaze across the floor, up the wall to the ceiling and back. And as you go back with your head, let the elbows fall open, the chest widens, the head is supported by your hands, thumb and fingers. And then exhale, use your hands to tip the head forward, chin towards chest, lift the head, neck, and shoulders, and exhale. The tail can curl up here, so the body's like in a hammock shape, with the tail lifted and the head lifted and tilted down. And now we're going into the reverse, extension. The tail starts to drop as you stretch the abdominal line. Your gaze goes up the wall to the ceiling and even to the wall behind you if you're comfortable with that. And your hands are securely supporting the weight of your head, of your skull. Feel the stretch in your throat, and then we tip the gaze forward, look down your nose, pull the head up, pull the neck up, around the upper back, and pull the elbows in. Almost imagine you can touch the elbows together here, but squeeze in. Tail is lifted, and now we rock back. So both ends of the spine will go into extension. The tail sinks into the ground and then falls back towards the floor. And once more like this, exhaling to go all the way up. You are going to work the abdominal line. It's not only the arms that help you, but we want that extra security for your skull and for your neck. All right, so here, keep your hips grounded. We'll twist to the right, lifting the left shoulder blade off the roller, and then twist to the left, doing the same thing. The right side lifts, anchor down through your opposite hip. And here we go, twisting to the right, left side grounded. Go really far, like the edge of your shoulder, the lateral edge of your blade, you're going into your latissimus dorsi. And that can get tight if, like if it's stressful, if you're doing a lot, probably work at the computer, right? So twist here, and then to the other side. We'll do one more here, twisting to your left. Feel the stretch diagonally into your back and also into your abdominal wall. And come back to center. You can take your hands to your thighs, curl up a little bit to sitting, and now we're taking the roller under the knees. Pull it back onto our spines here and lift the hips up onto the roller. So go back carefully, slowly. And then you press into your feet, you bridge up and the roller slides in. It's going across underneath your sacrum. And take up the big triangular bone near the base of your spine, sort of at the top of the glutes. And maybe a little lower than that. But pull your knees into your chest, hold the roller, legs are together. Exhale completely. And then we're swinging the knees over to the right for knee sways and turn your head to the left. Really twist your waist. Keep the left shoulder blade grounded. Exhale and pull the knees up and push the roller down with your arms. Move through center and then let the knees slide over to your left as your head turns right. So we get that rotation of both ends of the spine here. Exhale, press into the roller, maybe down, but also in along the outside edges. And go completely over to the other side of the leg. Shoulder girdle stays heavy, so both of the blades are grounded. Push down, lift. and then sweep the legs to the left. Again, your head shifts right. You can think about moving two different ways here. You can pick up the knees and pull the knees up to the ceiling and across to the opposite wall as you bring your gaze across the ceiling in the opposite direction. Or you can think of picking up your hip bone press and get more work into the oblique abdominals as you bring the right hip up. Keep lifting the right hip bone and take it to the left. Look away. Right shoulder blade grounded. And then press into the roller. Pick your left hip bone up. You know the difference between working more distally at the knee and closer to the center of the hip. You can choose whichever one you want. Push down and come up. Just go one more time over to the left. But you'll find that where you think about moving will really affect how you feel and what you end up working. So anyway, we come back to setup. Support yourself here, the head's maybe across the front of the roller. Don't let it roll forward, so the elbows might be a little bent and the arms a little active. Extend both feet up to the ceiling, straighten the legs if you can. If your hamstrings are tight, the knees might be a little bent, and we'd like the feet over the pelvic floor. From here, the right leg is back towards your chest, and the left leg reaches out and forward and down. And then we'll switch the legs. We inhale for one switch, and then we'll exhale for the next. If you feel your back arching, bend the knees more and work from the thighs, so it would look more like that. And that would be less load onto your back. You also could check that the roller's in the right spot if you feel like it's not really feeling safe for your back's arching too much. You also then could limit the range of motion so it would be smaller, so your back would be more comfortable. However, if your back feels great, which hopefully it does, you could go for the biggest stretch possible, focusing on both hip opening as the leg lowers and the hamstring stretch as the leg comes back. So we're going to bring both legs up to the ceiling now. Exhaling, rotate the legs, heels together, toes apart, and leave the left leg vertical as the right leg slides out and down. It goes down a curve, like it's coming down half a rainbow. And then you exhale, push into your arms, pull that leg up, really work the inner thigh to lift the leg. The heels tap, and then the right leg is vertical. The left leg moves sideways. Again, all the way down on the inhale. Take your time, feel that you're paying out the leg with the muscles here on the inner thigh line. And then exhale, drag it up. Try not to rush it. You want to have movement happening until the end of your exhalation. So right leg vertical, left leg slides sideways, out and down, traces an arc. In the air, it comes down as close as you can go to the floor without tipping the other hip up. And then pull the leg up. Nice and slow, so you feel that work in your core, in your arms, in your leg. And with the right leg lifted, the left leg slides sideways, the right hip gets heavier. Hopefully you get a nice stretch in the upper inner thigh here. And exhale, push down with your arms and lift the leg up. Excellent. Now inhale, bend the knees, pull them into your chest. Exhale, lower both feet down on the far side of the roller. And lift your hips. We're rotating the roller underneath you so you're on a fresh spot. And you can adjust it higher or lower as you need to, so your sacrum feels very supported. Now we'll keep the left leg bent, slide the right leg forward down the mat, stretch out the leg. If this is too much arch in your low back, you can either pull the left knee into your chest, or you can just bend the right knee a little bit more, or do a combination, whatever works. If it feels great, just reach out to the center of the foot and try to lengthen that leg away from your hip bone. It's okay to stay here. That feels like maximum stretch for you. Otherwise, though, we'll take the right arm up. So same side as the leg that's extended, and bring the right arm back. Maybe lay the back of the hand on the ground. Elbow can be bent or straight. If you're tight in the chest, the hand goes a little more laterally. So see what feels good in your joint, in your muscles, and allows you to still breathe fully, deeply, completely. So we inhale here, nice deep breath. Feel the body lengthen, fingers to armpit to hip to toes, and exhale, let the back of the body melt towards the ground. Your hip bone crest is the highest point here on the roller. You sigh the air out with each exhale. Do 2 more breaths. Full breath in. The abdominal wall expands, the whole body expands with the breath filling. And exhale, expel the air, and let the body narrow and melt towards the ground. One more breath. Out through the center of the sole of the foot, out through your fingertips, out through your halo, out through your tail, and exhale. Breathe out and let the belly pull tight, knitting in around your center. We'll bring the right arm forward and then slide the right foot back in. And now we're sliding the left leg forward. Stretch it out, could feel different. So you might have a different position for the other leg or for this one. And then we can take the left arm back by your ear. You can go laterally if you need to, if that's more comfortable with the shoulder joint. And we're just taking a deep full breath in, try to expand the ribs, expand the belly, and then exhale. Everything gets together. It's like a balloon empties and comes in towards center from all angles, from all degrees. Breathing in again. And exhale nice and slow. Notice where you're tight and try to direct the breath there in your mind, even if it doesn't seem like that's possible. And one final breath in, make it nice and deep and slow. And exhale, sigh the air out. The arm moves forward, the foot moves back. So feet are aligned, they're parallel. Lift your hips up, and then slide the lower out and keep it back, and roll your spine back. Okay. So just for a second, stretch both legs out, and see how your body feels now. Legs probably want to externally rotate a little bit. That's great. One more breath in. The belly deepens on the exhale. Now we're going to pull the right knee into your chest, hold on to the back of the thigh, pull the left knee into your chest, and lift the left foot up to the ceiling, elbows wide. You lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Big exhale, push both legs away to rock forward to sitting. Good. Your first version of a roll up. All right. So speaking of roll ups, we're going to use the bear bend to begin. If you've been doing this for a while and you want to go right into a more advanced version, you're welcome to, but we'll start at the beginning here. So heels are grounded, feet are flexed, and you'll take the center of the band around the ball of the foot and the top of the arch. Now this would be a place where you may end up putting ankle weights around your ankles or on top of them if you have trouble keeping the heels grounded while you do this. Heels maybe come a little bit out and away from your hips. You sit up straight and try to have a little arch in the back. And then you can pull the elbows a little wide and forward. Pull back with the hands so you feel the support of the strap. You look down and curl the tail up. So you're going off your sits bones onto your glutes. And you keep curling the tail up the wall in front of you as you roll back over your glutes to the sacrum. Keep lifting the tail up. It's like a paintbrush going up the wall in front of you as you go down to your hips, your waist, your ribs, your shoulder blades, your neck, and your head. And here the legs may be straight all the way out. To come up, we float the head up, lift it off the ground, tip your chin immediately towards your chest. You look down your nose into the abs. Look back into the band as you bend your spine, coming slowly up. Yeah, so that would be a sign you want to use the ankle weights. Dive over and down. Hang your head down low. Stretch it out. And then stack your spine on up. I'll get a second one here. And then you can do that again. So rolling back. So we're interested in hitting every vertebra on the way down and coming up vertebra by vertebra on the way up. Float up and down inch by inch. And just so you know, Joseph Pilates always had like steel weights in the base of the shoes. So, and everyone pretty much starts like this. So we've all done that. So you continue, just want to sort of watch for a sec. As you come up, it's helpful, think of the chest narrowing and the shoulder blades widening. So pull your elbows forward, your shoulders a bit forward and in, so that you have more of a rounded curve in your back, both on the way down and the way up. If you try to open the chest, you're going to push yourself into extension, and that's the opposite of flexion, which is what you do here in this exercise. Yeah, does it make all the difference? Yeah,
Yes.
so I was trained that you use the props to help you be successful, and then they teach you how to fire and help you build strength, and then you eliminate them as you can. Right, and not always, sometimes we go back and use them anyway, right? Alright, so I'm gonna get caught up. So the tail lifts, you round your back and come down as slowly as possible. Inhale. And exhale all the way down. And then lift the head, down your midline. You want to use the right and left side equally, so you push out through both legs. Also, if you're learning this at home or even here, it's a lot easier to do this if your feet push into a wall. Do one more. So you can dive forward, you can suck the waist back, you want a rounded spine like a horseshoe on the side, and then you would come back. The pelvis here rotates around the back of the femurs. You can take the arms higher as long as you have control, and you go all the way down to stretch out. We'll lift one more time to come up into hundreds, or to go down into hundreds actually. So you exhale. So the shoulders move forward so that you can round into the abdominal wall. And you feel inch by inch the abs pull you up and over. And then you stretch. Let's reach forward for your toes, your ankles, your knees, whatever you can reach. Maybe bend the knees to feel that stretch here. And straighten it when you can, looking for stretching the hamstrings without feeling like it's too much. So you can always soften the knees to feel more in the belly of the muscle. All right, and side your spine coming up. To get back into hundreds, we're going to stop when we have the bra line at the tip of the blades connected to the ground. So it'll look like this. You're going to go back. You can fold the knees in and hold on to the back of your thighs with your arms. Push the legs forward a little bit to come up into a deep curve here in the upper back. Yep, that all looks good. And then you can extend the legs or hold the knees bent as easier. Stretch the arms forward, we start pumping the arms, inhaling and exhaling. You press the legs together, firming up the inside line of your legs, pelvic floor and lower abdominals. And again, let the shoulders curve in a little bit, tighten up the front of the body so you can stretch across the back line. You push the arms forward, you reach for the wall, and you slide your hands up and down that wall. Keep the tail a little lifted and keep a bend here, right below the chest. To pull yourself, pull your sternum forward like an arrow into the navel. Your gaze stays down. It's tempting to look up at your feet. You don't want to do that because then your head will fall back as the spine flattens. So keep the curve of your spine by your gaze angled down into your belly. And the leg position can change. As you warm up, you might take the legs lower. As you tire, you might pull the knees in closer. So go where it works for you and squeeze the legs together wherever they are. One more breath. Exhale completely. And then fold the knees in and lay your head down. So turn your head from side to side. I know it can be a lot on the neck. The more you get into the abdominal wall, the less you feel it in your neck. Also, the more flexible you become with your spine, the higher you go up, the less work it is in the neck. You would always have the option of practicing like with your hands on the mat to pull up and have that support while you held the position like that. Anyways, here we're going to grab your third bend. First, single leg circle. So we want the widest part of the band around the right foot, the ball of the foot, and the top of the arch. And then as you roll back, you can push the legs away from you, pull your spine down into the mat, vertebra by vertebra. Hard to say, hard to do. And extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. Again, if your hamstring is tight, it's perfectly fine to have the knee a little bent, as long as you feel that stretch in a healthy way in the back of the right hamstring. So the elbows will be grounded. One hand holds each end of the band, and just like point the foot slightly and then flex it a couple of times here. As the heel goes up, you want to drop down through your sits bone, articulate through the foot, heel on toes, and then toes ball heel. One more like that. Our feet get so bored being in shoes on flat surfaces. They really need to articulate like this. We're going to end with a soft point. Be sure your elbows are grounded by your waist, and we circle the leg across the body, keeping the right hip down. So the right leg goes to the left, the right hip is heavy, and then you take the leg down by the other foot, rotate it externally, and then bring it all the way back up to the top. So one circle, one breath. Our goal is to stretch the leg and draw a beautiful circle in the air, but at the same time, not giving up the stability of the pelvic girdle resting on the mat. So we don't want the pelvis to shift, to twist, to lift at all. You're holding it down as if you were bolted to the ground, or as if the whole pelvic girdle was filled with heavy sand or concrete, so that your leg was free to move without disturbing the base here of the pelvis. We'll do that again. So you put more weight into the right hip before you move the right leg left, and then you put weight into the left hip bone before you move the right leg out to the right. So we'll do one last one. Short breath in to start the circle, a long breath all the way down, around, and up to the top to feel the abdominal wall contract. And now reverse. The right leg moves to the right. The left side is pushing into the floor like it's falling into quicksand. The leg goes around low and then sweeps up high enough to feel the stretch of the hamstring. So what does it take? You're going to push down through your elbows. You're going to push down through everything on the right side of the body connected to the ground, and the leg moves left. And you press down through everything on the left side of the body as the leg moves to the right. So the muscles will lift a little bit, like the muscle of the glute lifts a little off the ground, but the bony pelvis stays steady. The leg goes out to the side, enjoy the inner thigh stretch. And when it comes over to the other side, enjoy that feeling of length of the lateral thigh into the hip. We'll do one more circle here. Remember that longer exhale is going to help your body like stay calm and relax. Now from the top, we'll take the ends of the band in the right hand. Rotate the leg externally so the knee and the toes point like out, maybe 45 degrees. And you can take your left hand on your left hip bone to hold it still. Move the right leg out to the side, rest onto your right elbow, and then rock the foot slowly, small movement towards your shoulder and away, while the left leg gets a little heavier. If you miscalculated, lift the right leg up and push the left hip down, and then take the leg a little further out and down. You want to feel a gentle stretch here on the inner thigh, and you'll probably feel a lot of work into your right arm. Exhale to lift the leg up to the ceiling. We'll take the band in the left hand. So first you can keep the hip down and cross the leg over to feel the stretch in the lateral thigh. Then you can go ahead and lift the hip. Just keep the shoulder blades down. You're going to lift the waist, some of the lower ribs, but the shoulder is grounded on the right side, and the arm extends out. Reach out through your fingertips. Look over your fingertips and across the room. Pull that right leg a little closer to your left shoulder, and then rotate it internally to increase the stretch in your glute. You can bend the knee if that gives you a better stretch, right? Because if you're tight in the hamstrings, you may want to do that just so that the leg is a more reasonable distance to give you a better stretch. If the foot is too low because of tight hamstrings, you won't get the same stretch, like if it's more towards your knee and ankle. So you want to pull it as close up to the shoulder and chest as you can. And that's where you're going to get the stretch you're looking for in the low back. So unwind the body, pull the hip down, lift the leg up to the ceiling. Let's lift the leg vertically, and then take your hands up the two sides of the TheraBand. Pull yourself up by lifting your head, neck, and chest. Elbows go wide and out to the side. So we're trying to work into a better upper curl position with the waist pushing down and the leg up in the air. Maybe see if with that, bring the leg back a little further. We've stretched it already a bit. And then let's fold the knee down, lay it back softly, and take the band off the foot. Hug the knee into your right chest, embrace it in, and then pull it to your right armpit. And then we'll bring it back to center, one more hug, and then extend it forward and long. Shake out your legs, and then here's where you admire what you did. The difference should feel extraordinary. right? So the right leg is probably dropped. It's also a little more externally rotated. There's more connection at the back of the leg, the foot's more relaxed. It's further down the mat, all the things. So now we'll be on the left leg. So pull that one in first, hug it in. If it's too much for your knee, you hold on to the back of your thigh, otherwise you can hold the shin. Then we lift the head up, we're gonna take the band across the ball of the foot, not the toe, but the arch of the foot. And then you'll extend the leg up to the ceiling. Anchor yourself down. Now, when you bend the knee, sometimes we pull that left hip up. So if you look at yourself and the left hip is short, like it's closer to the armpit than the right side, you may want to think of widening your tail to the right to lengthen that left waist. So let's pull the leg up and do a few point flexes here. Roll through the foot, toe ball heel, heel ball toe. When the heel goes up, they can get heavier in that left glute. Also pull your elbows down by your waist to move the shoulders away from your ears. You want easy long necks here, graceful necks. They hold enough stress during the day, generally, that they could use a little break. And then soft point. Lower the leg slightly, we start the circles now. So inhale, the left leg moves across to the right. The left hip is heavy and grounded. You sweep the leg out, around, and up to the top. Reach long through the sole of the foot as you push down into the mat with everything touching the floor. Sweep it around, big circle. And at the top, at the end of your breath. So we start maybe a quarter of the distance on the inhale, 3/4 for the exhale, and then you adapt from there. If you need a shorter inhale and a longer exhale, or vice versa, do that. But remember, it's one breath per circle. So you're glad to take the next breath at the top of the movement. And your leg is happy to be free to move on the hip and to stretch out into space. One more in this direction. Pivoting here from your elbows. Come to the top and reverse. So out to the left with the left leg. The right side gets rounded, it's heavy, it sinks into the floor until it's time for the left side to get heavy as the leg moves to the right. Breathe through this continuously. There's a lot to remember. As long as you remember to breathe, you'll be fine. You can layer in all the other things as you practice. You really reach and stretch the inner thigh and then bring it across and stretch the outer thigh. We'll do one more. With spirals on the hip joint to help loosen it up. And then here at the top, we'll take both ends of the band in the left hand. Elbow is grounded. Actually rotate the left leg and press down with the right hip. Hand can be on the hip bone crest. Bring the leg out and then rock it gently towards your shoulder and away. And remember, you can bend the knee to bring that leg a little closer to the armpit and get a better stretch in the upper inner thigh muscles. Let's exhale and pull the leg up. Lift here, switch hands. Take it across, extend the arm out. And you pick up the hip. Sooner or later, you can start with the hip down. Now stretch the leg or bend it and pull it back into your right shoulder towards the right armpit. Rotate the leg a little internally to get more stretch across the glute and into the sacral area here. Breath slow and relaxed. Inhale following exhale, exhale following inhale. One more breath. And then roll across right shoulder to waist to left glute. Lift the leg in the air. And we're going to reach up a little higher on the strap. Lift the head, pull yourself up, bend the elbows, pull the leg towards the chest and the chest towards the leg. So both and good. Everybody feel their abdominal wall here, even though they're using the band. And then we can lay them down, pull the knee in, the band comes off to the side. You hug it to your chest first, and then take it to the left armpit, right side grounded and heavy. Look back to the left chest. Stretch that leg forward. We want to compare. You need to acknowledge what happened during that whole series. Your body knows it's like a worthwhile thing to do. You can practice this at home. Anytime you have a band, you can even use a belt. In 2020, when we all like disappeared into our Zoom screens, people were using whatever they had, the dog leash, their husband's belt, their belt. Yoga straps were blown too. Their bands if you have them. All right, so let's pull the left leg in. Hold on to either the shin or easier, hold on to the back of the thigh. Pull the right leg up, elbows wide, lift your head, look down, and roll forward and up, or roll it like a ball. So we sit near the front third of the mat. If you have a ball here and you want to use it, you can take it between your thighs. More advanced would be to take it between your heels and your butt. And the edges of the feet go together, the hands are on the shins, unless it's maybe your first time, in which case you take your hands to the hamstrings. Not just the first time, this is a little easier variation. So we want to be really round because we're rolling. So you want to think of sitting behind your sit bones as you curl the tail up, elbows wide, and you pull the waist back into your spine. Look down at your belly. We inhale to lift the tail, roll only to the shoulder blades, not the head or neck. But in the air, exhale forward to come up where you started. Yeah, very nice. And if you inhale to begin and then exhale as soon as the tip of the blades hit the ground, that exhale will carry you back and then forward more easily. So try it as soon as you feel the tip of the blades touch, you exhale and lift. That's good. And try to look at your belly so you're not flattening out your back. Right? Because as soon as I lift my gaze, my chest lifts and then my upper back gets flat, and it's going to be really hard to roll and come up. So you suck the waist back and pull the elbows forward, let the ribs sink back between your blades, press the edges of the legs together, and roll on the inhale. And exhale to bring us back where we started. Now, the tighter position makes it more difficult, so that's one of the reasons we take the hands to the shins. And you can practice that if you want, or repeat what you've been doing one more time. Head is always off the ground. You never slam your skull into the mat. Yep. All right, from here, we're going to do the first two of the ab series. So right hand is on, well, both hands are going to be on the right shin, right hand above the ankle, left hand below the knee. That means the outside hand is on the ankle. We're going to pull the leg back, curl the tail up, roll back and float the left leg up, pull that right knee in tight to your chest, elbows wide. Inhale, we switch the legs, pull one leg in and the other one out. And you push down with the hands and up with the shin to really firm up the arms and the connection into the upper abdominals. The legs shoot straight out of the hip joint. So the legs are moving in parallel in their own little plane here. Sometimes you think of the legs like pistons, just moving effortlessly back and forth, automatically tracking the straight line. We'll end with the left leg in, pull the right leg to meet it, and then roll up to sitting to help release your neck. So you can also pull the knees a little wide, drop your head down, just stretch your lower back, stretch your neck, let the hip fall. And then we can come upright for the double leg stretch. So eventually, there's 5 in the ab series. Eventually, you do them all in a row without a break. It's been a while since some of you are here, and some people are starting for the first time today. So we have a little bit of a review. So we're going to roll back now for the double leg stretch. So you're either going to have your hands to your legs, or hands can be free, more advanced. Come back, balance here at the tip of the blades, pull the legs in. One hand to each shin, the legs squeeze together, and you push up with the shins, down with your hands, the legs, the shins remain parallel to the ground. Feel that work in your upper abdominals and try to increase it. Now we inhale, and both fingers and toes lift to the ceiling. Exhale, circle the arms wide and brace the air, and then pull the leg in towards your chest, the double leg. And then you stretch. Keep looking at your abs. I know it's hard not to look up at your feet. Embrace it in. Now, as you advance, the arms and legs move a little further away from center without your collapsing and dropping your head and neck closer to the floor. So we only take the arms and legs away from center as much as you maintain the spinal curves. You reach and you stretch, And then you embrace it all in. And we'll do that once more. Lengthen and exhale, hug in. And then let's roll forward and up. And hang your head down, open your knees. Let the weight of your head trapped in your neck out. Right. It's important to take breaks so you feel that you're taking care of yourself as you're building strength and flexibility into these movements. All right, so from here, we're going to do a seated spine stretch. The legs extended out, a little wider than your hips, not quite the width of your mat. If your hamstrings are tight, you want to elevate yourself up on 1 or 2 yoga blocks. And I would say, either 1 or 2 edge to edge, whatever feels more comfortable for you. And here we want to try to sit right up on the sits bones. So you're not going to be flopped back behind them with a rounded C-curve spine, because then you're not going to get much mobility here in movement, and it's going to feel frustrating because you'll just feel like you're chained up and you can't move. So try to sit up, maybe push your sits bones back and then lift your chest up so that you're stacked halo over throat, over diaphragm, over pelvic floor. Extend the arms forward, and we look down and curve out, over and down. Round the spine over, stretch it out, and pull the waist back as you dive low. Your knees can bend if you need to, as long as you still feel the hamstring stretch in the back of your thighs. And then you press down through your heels and your sits bones. You zip your back up an imaginary wall, so low back, mid back, shoulders, upper back, neck, head, and over and we go again. Letting out, over and down. Curve your way down here. And hangs down low. And zip your back up again. So like there's a ball rolling up the front of your body to lift your chest, bring your gaze to the horizon, and let's do one more. You start with an inhale, you exhale to continue the movement, up and over like a wave coming up out of the ocean and then down low onto the beach. Press down to come upright. Slide all the way out. And then the arms descend. Okay, good. So here we're going to lay down on our backs for shoulder reach. So it's useful if you have if your hamstrings tend to cramp because they're not used to the load of doing this, it's really helpful to have a ball between your legs so that you can squeeze with the inner thighs and distribute the workload. So we're going to roll back. Arms lengthened at your side. The heels are maybe 8 to 10 inches from your sits bones. Depend on your body. Squeeze the ball if you have it to activate the inside line of your legs. And even if you don't have it, feel the inside edges of your feet and imagine you're pressing into a ball between your legs. Now here we start moving the spine from the tail to the head. So we curl the tail up, imprinting the waist down. And then we pull the tail forward and up. The heels reach back, the knees go forward. We come up, up, up with the hips, with the waist, with the low ribs, until our body's sort of in a plank from the shoulder to the hip bones. And then we're going to take it down. So from here, roll to the inner arms, a little more weight on the thumb, and feel how the blades move sideways. You curve the upper back down between the blades. Work down the rib cage. The tail is still lifted. Come down to the space below the ribs, above the waist, to the hips, to the sacrum, and finally the tail rocks and the waist lifts up again. So it's as if your spine was a beautiful pearl necklace laying on black velvet. Here we're going to pull one end of it up and forward. And one pearl at a time lifts off the ground, off the velvet. Push the knees forward. So if you really elongate the waist as you lift up, at the top, we roll the shoulders back and down, feel the chest lift. So we're going to add a little bit of thoracic extension, then push to the floor, particularly the inside edges of your feet and the upper arms. To lift the hips higher, we're trying to get into hip extension here and get a lot of work into your glutes. Everyone feel that? If you don't, push down harder with your arms, harder with your feet, and up with the glutes. And now we're going to roll to the inner arm. Keep the work in the legs. The arms rotate in, the shoulders curve up. Try to keep the hips high as you bend the upper back. Feel that stretch. Work down the vertebra one by one. The belly curls in towards the back. and you go all the way down to release the sacrum, the tail, the glutes down. One more just like that. Pelvic tuck, start your move, start your lift. Push the knees forward. Your gaze stays up when your hips are in the air. Push down through the outer arm, really rotate the arms a little externally to go into extension through the upper body, and then push down and lift your hips a little higher. Knees pull in. We're going to roll out of it slowly. A little internal rotation through the arm, you're heavy in the thumb edge of the hand and the arm. And release your back down, vertebra by vertebra. The abs are allowing you to go down, nice and slow, nice and easy. Okay, excellent. So from here, let's come over onto our stomachs using the roller for a little extension. Thanks for coming to class. And here, the arms extend out. You're going to look down, ears between arms, and you want to feel this pull, this stretch through your arms, through your armpits, down all the way to your tail. We're going to still look down, but pull the collarbones wide, the shoulders move down your back, accessing your lats. Bring your gaze across the floor and up the wall. The roller comes in, it teaches the spine how to roll backwards in space. And then you can zip in pubic bone to navel, to waist, to low ribs, to chest, and then float the collarbone, the head and neck here or between your arms. And we do it again. So you pull back through your blades, you propel the gaze forward, the chest moves forward, chin. Come up gradually with the gaze coming up the wall. If you feel it in your low back, go a little lower, and maybe think of lifting the tailbone up like a happy dog. That will give you a little more space in the lumbar spine. And come down slowly. Find some resistance, you're still pushing deep into the roller to keep that work in your triceps and your lats. Let's do it one more time. The collarbones widen, so the shoulders move down your back, and your front of your body moves forward and up. Feel that lift here, feel that stretch, and release it down again. I stay up to the very end. All right, and then we take the roller aside and step back into a child's pose. Put back up so. Hang your head low, pull the tail under, stretch out your back. And then come upright. Do a little spine twist here. Turn to watch you. So, and do it myself. So, feet are flexed and together. And you can sit upright. So again, no slouching in the low back, you're right on your sits bones. Arms out to the side and slightly forward. You're slow with your fingertips. We're going to rotate to the right and twist over your shoulder, twisting 1, 2, 3, right on your axis, and center, and then to the left, pulse, 2, 3, and again. Reach around here. When you turn the head, let your gaze drip down a little bit, like it's going down a hill and then an arc towards the floor. That will take some tension out of the back of the neck. Also with rotation, the more you're stacked, head over the center of your throat, the center of the diaphragm, the pelvic floor. You're going to get more rotation and less strain in the neck. If you have like a tight chest and forward head, you can only move a little bit. You can try it. So kind of curl your shoulders in, pull your head forward and look down, and now try rotation. So you can barely move, right? Whereas if you sit upright, let your chest be a little bit wider, the shoulders kind of aligned with your hip bones, the center of your hips. Now the arms are out, let the head float up and maybe pull it back slightly if you think you have a little bit of kyphosis here, which is like a collapse like over the computer, right? And now rotate here. I feel that difference in how much mobility you have through your waist. So one of the reasons we're looking for alignment is that when your body is aligned to its best capacity, you have both more flexibility and more strength automatically in your structure. So that's a big deal, because we don't want to be like hunched over and unable to move at any point in our life. So it's why like Pilates instructors are so fanatic about doing things precisely. It's like one of the tenets of what we do. All right, so that will however great, you guys, perfect, of course. And now here, let's just go into a little mermaid side of it. So you can either have like a pinwheel kind of a leg with like the butt attached to the thigh on one side and both of the feet aimed out to one side, or you can stack your legs like so. Some people even do this with both legs to stretch it out if they're having difficulty getting into those positions. But those would be some of the options, right? So you're gonna do this. And right, so whichever direction your feet are pointing, we're going to start with the opposite hand. Hold your hand on the outside shin. Lift your opposite arm up and side bend over and away from that glute. So press the hip down into the mat. Look up at your hand to bring your head back a little bit in line with your shoulders and your spine. Come upright, bottom to top, arms extend out. Take your hand down, we're skating away from your heels. Go onto your elbow, big scoop of the arm as you dive sideways here. And try to reach down through your top hip, even though it won't touch the ground. Right, feel how as you push it down, you get a little more stretch. Now push into the arm, but pull up from the upper hip, waist and ribs, and here we go over. So we're trying to build some strength into the oblique line. Most of the abdominals come around to the side of the body and into the connective tissue on the back. All except the rectus abdominis, the six-pack muscles, which are only in the front of the body. So by doing side work like this, we're working into our abs too. And then we pull up and over again. Trying to stay really parallel to the wall in front of you. Come upright, one more, we're going over and down and then adding a little rotation. So you push the bottom arm into the floor to get a little lift here through the side ribs. Lift the arm and then take it back, look back towards the hand. You go into extension of the wrist, spread the fingers open, cup the palm and then scoop the arm around, thread the needle here. And then bring the arm out and back, open your chest, look behind you. And again, circle around and in. You think of the fingers bringing the gaze or the gaze pushing the fingers to open your body up. One more time. And back you go, you feel the blades pull together as the arm goes behind you. Bring the arm up to the ceiling. Another side bend, push the floor down, pull up. A little harder to lift after you've been down for a while, right? And then here we go. Come upright. Beautifully done. Let's switch the legs. Other side. Usually we have a favorite side with the way this feels in the legs and the hips. So hold your shin, lift the arm up, side bend towards the feet. Come upright, arms extend. The hand goes down, you skate out, elbow down, push down to lift the armpit, lift the ribs. Push into the ground, start coming up, hip, waist, ribs, armpit, neck, head, and over you go again. I know, everyone's smiling because it does feel so great. Take it over. And you push the floor away with your hand on the mat, with the elbow on the mat, and then push harder to come up. And right. Yeah. A lot of times in Pilates, we're trying to figure out like how can we access our core by feeling the connection to our hands and our feet, our arms and our legs. So that that connection becomes more automatic when we need it. Okay. And then we're up. Oh, we have to do the curve through it, right? It's cheating us all. So take it over. Lift the arm up and then take it back, open the chest, feel the blades pull together behind you, go into wrist extension and spread the fingers wide. Then cup the palm. You're holding a ball here, slide that ball under you, stretch through, the back broadens, and then bring it out and back, open the chest here. And again, around and forward. Out and back. Really good to stretch open the pecs. Once more. And take it back now. Come center, arm lifts, side bend, dive, pull up. Take one more. And then we're back to center. And thank you for being here today. Wonderful job, fantastic. And so we're here again tomorrow, same time, same place. If you can make it, love to see you.